You're now in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Trackstarz Radio.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. How's everybody doing, man? You back in here? Y'all good?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody nodding at me. Yeah, man. So back again. Of course, go to trackstarz.co to check out everything that we got going on. We appreciate everybody speaking with us this week. We got in a couple fights this week, so
we did.
Go on Twitter and check that out.
We did, and shout out, man, to DJ Wado who told me how to respond and react now. When I get into those.
Oh, okay.
I can just be me now.
Okay.
You know? No more.
No, you could be you from your own page. But yeah.
Yeah, but no, shout out, man, to the new Trackstarz design, man, on the website, and everybody who's able to be a part of that, man. Shout out to
Trey and Adrena.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who worked hard on it. But man, also shout out to the supporters this week, man. Shout out to Tony Merkel and Level Ocean for doing their thing on the site, man. Listen to some good music by them. Paperboy, Tony Parker.
Not you?
Just been some people, man.
Paperboy's not really you.
Paperboy is not really me. And when I saw that, I was like, I need to get back in the game. Red Snapper needs to come out with his alias. So yeah, man. That's what's up, man. I just appreciate the good conversation that I've been having with people on the music submissions, man. Keep sending those. That's dope.
All right, man. We got a special guest in the room, man. We've known this young man for a long time now.
Yeah.
We got Ace in the building. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Trackstarz? How y'all doing?
Yeah.
And you may remember him from a group called the Preacher Kids.
PK One Day.
Lecrae on was it Gravity?
Yeah, it was Rehab
and Overdose. Yeah. So produced some stuff for him, man. So welcome, man. Welcome to the lab, man.
Happy to be here, man.
So before we get going, I want to talk about something specific, but it kind of involves your story. So kind of tell them your journey in production and performing to how you get to where you are now, and then we'll discuss what I mean.
Cool. I try to give the concise version because I've been told I can be a little long-winded right here. So basically, man, I've always had a heart for music. Grew up in the church playing drums in my father's church. When I was like 15 years old, I heard this beat, this Timbaland beat, and I was like, this beat is amazing. Yeah. Like I dissected every element in that beat, and I wanted to like reproduce it. And so luckily a cousin of mine, actually my cousin at the time's boyfriend, who's now my cousin's husband, gave me a keyboard, like a $2,000 keyboard. Wow. And I just started going at it. So I pursued it, went to college, pursued it. You know, I was basically I went to school for business, but I was still, kind of pursuing music in the Atlanta scene. You know what I'm saying? I just kept pursuing it, and I partnered with some other people. And I just really wanted to be a music producer really bad. So I did everything. I mean, interned at DTP, interned at Purple Ribbon label, Sony BMG, you name it. I was out there. We used to be even in streets, man, with these shirts called "We Make Beats" because we wanted to, do it so bad. And so I did that. Graduated from college, worked in corporate America for about 2 years, and me and my partner at the time, we basically left our jobs. Like, hey, man, if we want to do music, we got to do it. I will say that at the time, through that phase, my heart was in a very kind of a murky place. So my motives were a little bit questionable. Yeah. But I wanted to be a music producer so bad. I left my job. And basically, we started pursuing it, man. We had traction with a group named Rock City, had a few things with other like signed artists, and we're getting some traction. And then summer 2008 happened. I don't know if you remember, that was the Great Recession. crazy time, Great Recession. And we had left our jobs to do music, and man, money dried up. I mean, I don't even remember, there was no gas in the city of Atlanta. Like, I remember that. It was rough, and we got humbled, had to go back to work. And, it was during that time that we started getting back into the church. A good friend of mine by the name of Brian Taylor started attending this church, and he started to invite us to midweek service, and our hearts just started to get changed, man. So I kind of like, I was like, man, maybe I should stop. Maybe, I said, God, you know what? I'm going to surrender my dreams for music, because that's everything I wanted in life, was to validate myself as a successful music producer. But once I surrendered that, he kind of gave me my dreams right back. But I had to go through that space, started doing faith-based positive music, formed a group, started to tour, started to produce faith-based music with other artists, kept working. One thing led to another, got our music to Reach Records, and just started going. And did the artist thing, produced. And then, a couple years later, kind of fell back on the artist thing and kind of looked at maybe I'm so much in this circle. Maybe I need to expand my network. And I said, it's funny how when you surrender whatever you wanted so bad to God, he gives it right back to you. Mm-hmm. So I did that and started working back, working with other artists, and it just started to grow from there, man.
Yeah, man. All right, so that brings me to the topic.
Yeah.
All right, so we were doing the photo shoot and we were just vibing because we've known you for at least part of that journey. Mm-hmm. And I remember you guys, sitting in the room making beats till 3 a.m. and all that kind of stuff, grinding. And you inspired us a lot, like the work ethic. We were like, oh, we not doing nothing.
Yeah, no. But I think, man, they helped us.
They did.
If you got Misfits and Bangers, the FMG project.
This young man right here produced a lot of that album, man. Blessed us, man. We came out and we did a show at your church.
Yes, I remember.
And he was like, just to show you my appreciation, here's some beats. We were like, what?
No, okay. So
I remember that. Thank you for that.
We'll tell y'all the inside thing with me and Shantana.
Absolutely.
So every time me and Shantana, we would do the same show as the PK one day, and we would be in the back, man. And every time y'all would come with a new song. Every time when me and him look at each other like, this don't make no sense, because it was just that hot. Like,
why
crazy.
is it so good? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I just to attest to the quality level, man. It's not a mistake that Lecrae grabbed onto some of your beats. It's phenomenal. Yeah. So I saw that journey, and I know the frustration of being in the Christian hip hop industry, because it's not. People may see people on TV, and they may see there's not a lot of money going around for everybody. There's a couple people who figure some stuff out, but it's not a lot of money. A lot of people who do this are doing this based off of faith and ministry and all that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of questions recently about like Natalie Lauren working with Iggy Azalea, and I know you used to work with mainstream artists in the past, and recently you've decided to start doing that again. You were on
absolutely,
T.I.'s last album, did 4 songs for him, 2 of them made it, I believe, right?
Yes, 2 tracks made it. 2 of the tracks made it.
And you went out to LA and worked with him.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of discussion around that topic. Is it okay for Christian producers, drummers, musicians, anything, writers, what Natalie Lauren did with Iggy? Is it okay for us to use our gift to help people who are not about what we're about? Or is it just, from your point of view, ministry to the artists that you're working with?
Yeah, I think it's a really great discussion. I think in a perfect world there will be like a one size fits all response. I look at everything through the lens of, first, what am I doing and why am I doing it for? And if your motives are pure and your heart is pure, you can pursue something, but the intent has to be pure. So for me, I look at it like, God gives us everybody certain gifts, and I believe that He wants you to use those gifts to the best of your ability. And there's some people who have certain gifts that are called to influence outside of the church or in non-traditional methods and non-traditional means. Now, does that mean everybody who is doing Christian hip hop needs to like, okay, man, you know what? I've been doing a church thing. I need to go over here and get this money over here with T.I. I see you doing it. I really can't call your path or your journey. Yeah. I know for me, first of all, I actually started in that field first. Yeah, and I came back. I rededicated my life. Got right with God, and now if God had given me some of these successes that I've had this year, and I call them successes with quotes, because that's not really success. Yeah. That's a whole nother topic. But if God had given me those things at 23 years old, when I was pursuing music so heavily, man, my heart would have, I probably wouldn't have even been married today. Yeah. I would have been chasing the wrong things, and my journey would have not even been where I'm at today. And so I kind of idolize that kind of success. So I think, with anything, what is your motive? What are you trying to accomplish? And always keep a community of accountability partners. I can call one of my best friends, Marlon. Yeah. And if he see me on Twitter or see me in certain circle, hey man,
what you doing, bro?
He's gonna pull me to the side and say, hey, Ace, I see Marlon. Absolutely. So it's about knowing what your intentions are, but there's opportunity outside of in any circle, because people look at it like the Christian music industry as like the safe haven, but in essence, I'm a producer working in my field, no different than the science teacher who's teaching evolution at a middle school, who's a believer, but he may not believe in the actual content, but he's actually, he's performing his job. But when he presents that content, there's something different about the way he presents it versus the guy who really believes it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you two difficult questions because we have to deal with this. We've got a letter a couple years ago where somebody was like, "This segment you do line for line, I know you think it's helping because you're trying to show people who don't believe in God the Christian artists, but what about the Christians who listen to it and find out about the secular artists?" Now, you, I think, are in the same place, and we've had to decide, should we stop doing line for line or should we keep going because we know the benefits? You're in the same position. How do you deal with the fear or the criticism that you're helping this artist that's not talking about God get bigger and more people are going to listen to him because of how good your beats are, that you're going to bring more fans to that artist to hear negative information? Is that something you worry about?
I mean, that's a fair, observation, but I believe that, generally speaking, urban culture has impacted it so much around us in any and every way. So if I'm, if the only way to keep someone from, ingesting anything that's considered, not edifying, man, like they would probably have to live where there's no internet or no computer or so. I have to walk, like I deal with my youth. I have to walk that line finely. You know what I'm saying? Because I work closely with the youth in my church as well. And there's been moments where they're oh man, I saw you this. That's it. And that's why I be very careful what I post on social media and how I post it. But since I have a personal relationship with them, I'm able to dialogue about, what's reality, what's entertainment, what's your motive, what's my motive, and we end up. And what's funny is that my quote unquote access to mainstream artists gets certain conversations started where the conversation generally ends up into what's your heart like, how you doing in school, how's your prayer life, who you impact, because they want to talk about music. Cool, let's talk about music talk, boom, and we get into real life. And I think sometimes in some way having that connection to them looks like, oh, he's definitely more credible because he's with this person, so I'm going to listen to what he may have to say about me not listening to my parents faster than the guy who's so disconnected from the culture that they're already consuming. So hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. So how would you say, like, okay, so let's say give the difference for somebody out there of you like 10 years ago versus now in the studio with like a T.I. Like, what would it have been like for you 10 years ago with T.I. in the studio versus now with him in the studio?
Oh man, I think back then, I first of all wasn't carrying myself in a way that reflected, light. You know what I'm saying? So that's first and foremost. So there may have been certain conversations where I would have, not added my perspective for fear, or I probably would have added a perspective that was not really set apart from the conversation anyway. So it was like I probably would have just blended right in. So I mean, there's been plenty of situations where I've been in rooms in LA and it's like either through conversation, through dialogue, I add my perspective to the room, and it'll kind of influence the situation. Now, does that mean we're going to get baptized and get saved right immediately after? Probably not, but it may sow a seed that's pointing, it may sow a seed that's pointing to the way of life that I believe in. So there's been many times where people be like, man, I feel like I can't cuss around you. I'm like, I choose not to use certain language, and I'm still working on that. I choose not to use this language because that's my faith, but I can't. You may value this language because your perspective on life comes from a different place. So I'm not here to judge you from where you're at, but I'm not going to change who I'm at just because you're doing it that way. Yeah. And as we do that, as we begin to build, it's like they kind of start to act different around you. Yeah, it's like, wow. Yeah. But so maybe that it's sowing seeds of faith that leads people to what we believe in.
I think that's the side people need to hear. Like, you're doing ministry, and all they see is the records. Yeah. They don't see the behind the scenes work. So, here's the other thing. I know you have you're so good at what you do that you listen to Christian music. How close are we? How far are we? I would probably say.
No, you said it right. Close. You said
how close are we? Man. And what do we need to do to make the music better? Because for a young producer coming up, What do you hear that they're doing wrong, and what do they need to fix to get to the next level?
That's a very good question. Very good question. Okay, I feel like we've come a long way from when I was in high school, and my youth leader would try to give us Christian music to listen to, Christian rap, and I can't name the names, but when we listened to it, we were kind of like, man, this ain't as good as the other stuff. So, but we've come a long way from that, to be honest, man. I mean, the quality has improved. I think the one thing that's missing for me is that still too much we're trying to make the faith-based Christian antithesis to what is considered popular. So it's like, it's cool to be aware of what's going on in hip-hop culture, because I really am aware. I know what sounds, but it seems like we're waiting for the greats or the leaders to make their steps, and we're just watching what they do so much, and it's like, okay, I'm going to make the Christian counterpart to that. And it's like, but why don't you just look at it like, we're just artists. Why don't you just create? Why don't you
get
just
ahead of them?
Exactly. Why don't you just go for it? I think that's something I've seen a lot. And it's something I feel like we just have to push the envelope to be great even more without allowing what's considered the trend to dictate what we do. Because I mean, shoot, we're artists too. You know what I'm saying? The only thing different is really what we're talking about in our content.
Now, is it embarrassing? Like, because you know both sides of this, so when you get in rooms with a T.I. and whoever else, is it like, dang, obviously this dude is trying to sound like this man I'm working with? Is it embarrassing? Like, is that how we're viewed?
I've definitely heard, because I'm kind of like the Christian hip hop and quote unquote, not ambassador, but I do try to pitch music to people when I'm in certain circles. And what you think about this? And some of the feedback I've heard on some of the music is, it's cool, but I mean, that's the best Christian thing, but it ain't got nothing on that new Jay-Z, or it ain't got nothing on the new Jeezy. It ain't that good. I mean, it's cool for what it is, but it ain't got that feeling to it. So that's kind of, but some people, they dig the message, but it's gotten better. But I have run into situations where it's like they're not connecting to it, man.
They don't believe in it yet.
That's a very interesting thing, like to hear this. Like, I've heard this before from people who would like listen to a T.I. or whoever, and they won't give Christian hip hop a chance at all, regardless if it's Lecrae, or even if it's our best people we put like out there, they still won't listen to it because it's a Christian banner too, and very stuff true. Like that. But I totally agree with you, man. Like, I was just talking to somebody about that myself. It's just like, it just seems like we're scared to be trendsetters in this genre. But instead of like leading the charge and somebody saying, hey, that's fresh, that's new, we're like, okay, trap music in, we're doing trap music. If pop sounding is, we're going to do that. Versus standing out and being different and stuff like that.
It's a problem that, I mean, it takes a great deal of knowledge to know how to go in front of the trend, because a lot of us are just still trying to catch up to, like, think about it. I'm sitting in my room and I, downloaded Logic, or I downloaded Reason or Fruity Loops. I'm trying to get to where I'm good enough to even sound like them before I can learn to get better than them. Is that what, are we still in the catch up mode? Is that the problem? We've made a lot of progress, and we've come a long way. I can't even front. I mean, there's you got these labels that are putting out really, really great content. Really what I'm saying is, like, I have a producer that I work real closely with. His name is Sham Joseph. He's a believer, really good friend of mine. He's worked on like Watch the Throne. He's worked on Kanye New Slave. He's been in the room. He went to Paris. Like, he's been in those arenas with really creative people. And his perspective was, man, I want to hear something that I can play for Ye that'll be so dope and forward and fresh that I can get his opinion, his perspective on it. Maybe what if we brought him? This may sound radical to some, but what if we brought his artistry into our world? I'll do a record featuring him talking about something that's something that's helpful. And so basically, what I'm saying is it taste making? Is it trend setting? Like, is it that? We getting there. Are you talking musically or lyrically?
Musically.
And that's your head, yeah.
The lyrical part. There's some people who are, who are theologically driven in their raps, and that's dope. If that's what you are, do that. There's some people who have kind of shifted. They're doing more Christian-inspired music but telling their life. That seems to be the trend going on now.
Yeah.
If that's not who you are, keep doing your theological rap. Just make it the dopest you can make it. I just feel like we got to be leaders, man, pioneers, man.
That's what's up, man. And I think you can help. I mean, a lot of what we try and do here is, as much as we learn, we can teach it, because there's things that it would take me 10 years to learn. You know what I'm saying? So I think you could be part of that wave of teaching the next producer how to skip some steps. You know what I mean? Like get an advanced course so they don't have to figure it out all on their own. So appreciate you, man.
Definitely.
That's good, man. So hopefully y'all listening, y'all want to hear more about Ace. What's your Twitter?
It's
everything.
Ace Harris Music for Instagram, IG. My website is aceharrismusic.com. That's ACE Harris Music. That's the best way to find me.
So if you're an aspiring producer and you want to learn, man, hit him up. Ask questions. He's open.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz.